clock. 1-800-GOT-JUNK for home or office junk removal. We make junk disappear.
I'm Zach Fink with the New York 1 Minute. Advocates for homeless New Yorkers marched to Gracie Mansion as Mayor Adams took action. They're calling for the city to stop the sweeps of homeless encampments and improve conditions for those in shelters. Mass vaccination sites opened today at 3 schools around the city. Appointments had to be scheduled in advance. Thousands more spots are expected to open over the next few weeks. Today marks 8 years since Eric Garner was killed on Staten Island as police tried to arrest him. A ceremony was held yesterday to rename part of the street where he was killed in his honor. A new report shows local airports have been some of the worst to fly out of this summer. Nearly 8% of flights at Newark Airport were canceled and 30% delayed. And the Carnival Cubano Parade celebrated Latin American culture in Manhattan today, including floats, mariachi bands, and dancers.
Well, I had to call out Channel 1 again tonight. Well, I have to. I am so sorry. I mean, my mic was off again. Off again. I mean, I am just completely drained from having to talk about the nonsense of this TV station. And I'm literally watching right now, and guess what? They're talking about the economy, which... Alright, that should be a priority in this country right now. I mean, besides the crime. Especially because we're on the brink of a recession. But, you know, you would think tonight they would do the right thing and talk about what happened on the Upper West... Well, it was Hell's Kitchen. Yeah, Hell's Kitchen. And they would talk about what happened with that motorcycle accident in Far Rockaway. That the motorcycle actually exploded. No. Or the fact that there was a massive fight at St. John's yesterday. Nope. There's no information about it anywhere. So, yeah, we're going to get into the major news that happened tonight. So, Channel 1, as you saw, didn't bring it up on top stories. And this guy right here, Zach Fink, has been anchoring the news. And there's a good reason why, if you haven't been noticing. Rochelle, yes, our friend Rochelle Boone, actually is not feeling so well. You may be wondering what's going on with her. Well, turns out she has cancer. And I do wish her the best, so the anchors did bring it up last week, so let's watch this.
Well, before we go, you may have noticed that Rochelle hasn't been behind the anchor desk for a little while now. She wanted us to let you know the reason behind that.
Yeah, Rochelle has been undergoing treatment for cancer. Doctors discovered the growth recently on her pancreas, and of course I talked to her yesterday on the phone, and she was in really good spirits, and she's of course getting the best medical care. She has her family giving her all that loving support. She has her family, her friends, colleagues are also there with her. All of us have been there.
We're all rooting for her,
exactly. Yeah. And she even mentioned that a lot of viewers have been asking and already offering support, like whatever's going on with you, we support you, and I'm sure they'll continue to do so.
Well, we know this place is not the same without her, so hopefully she gets back here soon. And please wish her the best via social media. And
I understand how rough cancer can be. I mean, remember, my Borble died from cancer. He had 3 tumors. So I understand how the anchors feel with Channel 1. I know Pine Power LI lost his mother to cancer. A friend of mine, during the worst of COVID, her mom got cancer. She had to go through chemo while we were all in lockdown. And, it's a terrible, terrible thought. So I do wish Rochelle the best. And, it's very, very, very unfortunate, but we still gotta call out this TV station on its nonsense. So I'll just show you what they did show, because Channel 4 did a better job covering this. I mean, look at this. You want to see how long they spent talking about this tonight? Look, 90 seconds. Channel 4 did a much better job covering this tonight. I mean, maybe earlier they had a reporter there. I don't know. I mean, they did interview a couple of the eyewitnesses, but Channel 4 did a great job, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to watch the NBC4 report. So let me see if I can pull up the tape that I had from earlier tonight, because my DVR thankfully did get it. So let me unmute the desktop audio, and then we'll watch the Channel 4 report.
Breaking news on News 4. New video coming in of a wild crash. An SUV lands on top of a car, and the dangerous move that almost cost a firefighter his life. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Rana Novini in for Gilma Avalos. And look, this is the dangerous rescue we're talking about happening on the west side of Manhattan. An SUV landed on top of a car, crushing the windshield. And just as firefighters were trying to rescue people who were trapped inside of that SUV, one move put everyone's life at risk. News 4's Adam Harding is live on the west side with this wild video that shows us what happened next. Adam.
Rana, this was an incredible crash, but it quickly turned into two emergencies. Let me walk you through what exactly happened. So this white car right here was here on 11th when out of nowhere a car came up on top of the car. You can see all of the scuff marks, and then you can see a tire landed right here in the front of the car. Now, this was the first part of the emergency, and as crews were going to rescue the people who were trapped inside of that car that had rested on top of this car, take a look at what happened next. So what you're looking at right there is a firefighter trying to pull the people who were inside of that black BMW. As they were trying to rescue the people inside, something happened with the shift on that car. The car then moves just enough where it falls on top of a firefighter, injuring that firefighter's leg. We're told that firefighter was seriously injured. His leg is in bad shape. He was rushed to the hospital. A short time ago, we spoke with the family who was inside of the white Volvo that had the car that landed right on top of them, and we heard from witnesses who rushed over to help that firefighter. Take a listen.
My wife and I were stopped at the light, and all of a sudden we just felt this impact, and we saw a car drive up on the side of our vehicle.
The car just fell on top of the firefighter's leg. All of a sudden, all the bystanders that were around, we just sprang into action and started pushing the car up, pushing. The firefighter that his leg was crushed, even though he was hurt, he still went ahead and pulled the driver out. Wow. One hand. He's a hero, 100%. 100%, he's a hero.
And I'll tell you, Rana, so many people came to help that firefighter. This is the car that was on top of that Volvo, and that also is where the firefighter injured his leg trying to pull the people out. We understand everybody who was in those two cars, at least 4 people, nobody was seriously injured. The concern right now is the firefighter's health. Again, as I mentioned, that firefighter taken to a hospital. We understand significant injuries to his leg. We're told the mayor has been briefed on what exactly happened.
So that was an excellent report by Channel 4, and I want to mention, Channel 1 did mention, yes, we're still going to call them Channel 1 because that's how much of a joke that they are, but Channel 1 did mention that the firefighter was taken to Bellevue Hospital, which is the closest hospital, and again, that's what happens when St. Luke's left Manhattan. There's no hospital on the west side anymore, so now we have to take you to the east side. So, from what I heard, the firefighter's leg had to get amputated, which was no surprise there. But, yeah, again, Channel 1 is up to no good as usual. And the fact that they didn't even cover the shooting that happened in Indiana tonight. There was a mass shooting in a mall in Indiana tonight. So you would have thought that they would have at least let off with that. I mean, I understand it's not a local news story, but my God, this is a major national news story. There was a mass shooting in a mall today in Indiana. And then, of course, I'm watching them right now on my other screen. They're talking about sports. Talking about the Yankees. You know, I have a separate sports video that I'm going to talk about the first half tomorrow, but yeah, I have to call them on their BS as usual. So, I'm going to find an article about what happened in Queens today with that motorcycle, because there was an awful motorcycle accident in Far Rockaway that they didn't cover. So, there have been a lot of accidents going around, and of course Channel 1 hasn't really gotten around to it because, again, they just don't seem to care. So, let's get into the first serious one that happened in Queens today. There was a motorcycle explosion in Far Rockaway. 1 dead, 2 injured. So, here we go. Well, this happened 1:10 this afternoon. Fiery collision with a wild crash that killed 1 person and injured 2 on the Rockaways. This happened in the Edgemere neighborhood on the Queens Peninsula. A 52-year-old man was driving northbound on Beach 45th Street right by Rockaway Park and not too far from where Rockaway Beach is. So a driver of the vehicle hit a pair of motorcyclists heading west along Beach Channel Drive just before 1:10 p.m. One of the two-wheelers caught fire upon impact. The other bike was pinned to a garden fence by the car. An unidentified man was pronounced dead at the scene. So here we go. Paramedics brought one of the bikers, a 33-year-old man, to Jamaica Hospital, NYC Health, in critical condition. The driver was brought to St. John's Hospital. The car driver was taken to St. John's Hospital in stable condition. Police draped the fatally injured man's body in a white sheet on the street and cordoned off the intersection, as of course they investigated this incident. So there you go. I mean, Channel 1 clearly ignoring the news that they're supposed to be covering, as usual. And we have a couple other stories that we will get into, but there is good news that I will wrap this video up on. So, accidents all over the place. A couple that happened in Brooklyn this weekend. So here we go. An elderly woman was in critical condition after a van struck her at a Bay Ridge intersection. The motorist was heading west on Ovington Avenue and made a left turn on 7th Avenue when he struck the 67-year-old pedestrian crossing the street. The victim was taken to NYU Langone in critical condition. The 60-year-old man who drove the van remained at the scene. There's no criminality according to police. So here we go. At that intersection alone, there have been 15 crashes over the past 11 years, injuring 25 people, including 18 who were in cars, 4 on foot. So yeah, this kind of does look a little dangerous here. And this is a one-way street. So that's the problem, you know. Sometimes you just don't see the people. So look at this. A 22-year-old man was severely wounded in a high-speed collision in Gravesend Friday night. And of course, we'll get to the other ones right now. So let's get to the moped one after I read the other ones. So here we go. So what happened in Gravesend? Ocean Parkway. 22-year-old man is clinging to life and 3 more youngsters were injured in a high-speed Brooklyn crash in the dangerous Ocean Parkway that happened on Friday, July 15th. 19-year-old man was heading south at high speeds in a BMW on the wide roadway in the Gravesend section of Brooklyn after he struck an oncoming driver making a left turn onto Avenue X just after 9 p.m. Friday evening. The alleged speeder in the BMW careened toward the curb and slammed sideways into a traffic light pole, wrapping his vehicle around the metal pillar. 22-year-old male passenger in the young motorist's vehicle suffered serious injuries and was rushed to NYU Langone in critical condition. Alright, so here we go. The 3 remaining people in that car, the 19-year-old, the 16-year-old, and an 18-year-old, were all brought to Lutheran Medical in stable condition. The 45-year-old man in the other car didn't suffer any serious injuries and stay on the scene. 3 other people have lost their lives due to traffic violence at that southern Brooklyn intersection from August of 2011 through June of this year. 47 collisions, 2 people in cars, 1 pedestrian, 56 people injured at that intersection in Brooklyn. So, there you go. And then lastly, this. Moped rider critically injured in the Bronx. So, okay, here we go. Motorcyclist rider was in critical condition after he collided with a driver at a dangerous intersection on Saturday, July 16th. A 30-year-old man was heading east on East 138th Street near Cypress Avenue in the Mott Haven section of the Bronx around 3:20 a.m. on July 16th in a Kia sedan and made a U-turn when another man in the oncoming direction on a moped swiped his side and was flung onto the roadway, according to police. Paramedics rushed the unidentified wounded man to NYC Health Lincoln Hospital with serious head injuries. The driver of the car remained on the scene and was uninjured. Police did not make any arrest in the case. Since 2011, there have been 34 serious crashes at that South Bronx intersection, including 44 people injured and 1 pedestrian killed. So, you think they could combine this into one story, but no. No, they don't. And then look at this. Another police-involved shooting. This should have been a top story tonight. So this happened in the Soundview section of the Bronx. This morning, 1 a.m., 1155 Morrison Avenue. So here we go. An NYPD sergeant came across a Bronx shootout and opened fire. So here we go. The sergeant arrived on the scene to find 2 individuals exchanging gunshots to one another. One of the shooters was on the street, while the other fired the weapon from inside a red vehicle at the scene. Police sources said the sergeant confronted the suspect and the perpetrator in the street pointed his weapon at him. Let me make sure I'm scrolling this down. So the sergeant fired shots at the gunman. The gunman left the scene. No surprise. Red vehicle. 43rd Precinct responded to the incident. The sergeant was brought to Jacoby Hospital for treatment of tinnitus. So, it says here that detectives canvassed local hospitals, but sources familiar with the investigation said none were found. Oh, and look at this. The red vehicle involved in the shooting was abandoned. Boy, you really cannot make this stuff up. For crying out loud, again, there was a NYPD sergeant involved in a shooting tonight. Well, last night. But you get the idea. Early morning hours. Now, that's the priority of the media. They don't care. So, nothing on the fight that happened in Fresh Meadows and St. John's yesterday. There was a fight involving gangs yesterday. You know, that got ignored too. That got ignored too. So, Queens Village is seeing a lot of issues, but let's get to the news that came from today. This is what I was looking for. Look at that. Multi-vehicle accident. Cross Island Parkway near Jericho Turnpike. Multi-vehicle accident. Northbound. So, there's another accident right by Union Turnpike. So, accidents are up this year. And then look at this. Another accident. Clearview by Union Turnpike today. 5 vehicles. 5 vehicles. Oh, and then look at this. 2nd floor fire in a private dwelling. Whitestone this afternoon. Actually, tonight. Oh, no, this is another serious one. Stabbing in Jamaica. Jamaica Avenue by 138th Street. Male stabbed. EMS is working the scene. Male Hispanic suspect. Last seen wearing a red t-shirt and gray pants. Male is in critical condition. So, this is a hotel that houses homeless and former members of Rikers Island. So, there you go. The problems are always in Jamaica, it seems. Oh, and then look at this. Stabbing. Flushing males at Corona Park tonight. This is by the overpass where the Grand Central Parkway is. large group of males took off. So, another male Hispanic. At least there is some good news. So I think we do need some good news to wrap this video up today. So the good news is an arrest was made in connection to the security guard that was stabbed on Friday in the Upper East Side. So here we go. So here's what we know. Jorge Santiago, an alleged bank customer of the Chase at East 86th Street and 2nd Avenue, was apprehended overnight in the Bronx. So, here's what we know. The bank customer became furious with staff during a visit at 9 a.m. back on Friday, July 15th to the branch at 244 East 86th Street and 2nd Avenue. He apparently arrived early and demanded to be served before the bank officially opened. A private security guard asked the customer to return during open hours at 10 a.m. Authorities said the customer and the security guard engaged in a verbal dispute that ended with the customer allegedly stabbing the security guard in the neck before fleeing. Blood was left drenching in the building's entranceway as the security guard was observed being dramatically whisked away on a stretcher while recovering chest compressions. The victim was taken to New York Presbyterian Weill Cornell Medical, where he was upgraded from critical to stable condition. Oh, thank God the security guard's going to be okay. That is a huge sigh of relief. The customer was collared after midnight on July 16th. He allegedly was carrying 2 knives, although it was not confirmed if either was used in the bloody attack. The customer was charged with attempted murder, assault, and criminal possession of a weapon. He remained silent as he was let out of the 19th precinct in cuffs Saturday evening. So far, we have no statement from the Manhattan DA's office regarding this incident, so knowing Alvin Bragg, he's likely going to let this guy off the hook. So, that's all I'm going to say on that regard. So that's it, folks. I mean, I've lost my patience with this TV station. I got to go to work tomorrow, and there's going to be a better video tomorrow on my thoughts of the second half, because I thankfully taped that earlier before all this news was happening, so thank you all very much for watching. Stay safe out there. And especially tomorrow, given that there's a chance of thunderstorms for our area. So that's it. Take it easy. And that's it.